Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's cocktail-inspired episode, we're looking at beers imitating mojitos. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us! So I'm going to say this at the beginning of every one now, so strap in, kids. We are on coffee. If you would like to buy us a beer and help us to continue to produce this amazing content that we are making for you right now, head on over to the link that is in the show notes and in our bios and all that jazz, and you can donate and buy us a beer, and then you get fun bonus content. What things we got at the minute, Tori?
Oh geez, what things do we have at the minute?
Tours.
We've got brewery tours. We've done some beer reviews. We've tried some really effing expensive American beers.
We did that for you.
Yeah, my husband made a guest appearance, but I don't think he actually made it into the scene because he stayed to the side
stood out of the way.
on purpose. And we got some other bits coming up that we found that we're going to do a quarterly review, so that'll be good. And yeah, I think it's worthwhile saying as well that even though we say you could buy us a beer, you could literally, if you have £1, you could give us £1. Like, it's not, we have made it exactly, and you get all the we don't do it just based on a specific month. It's like you donate. It's a donate what you can spare or what you want, really, as little or as much as you like, and then you unlock all that content which we are building up at the moment.
Yeah, over time. And let us know what things you want to see, because we will make those. So the link for that is in the show notes. If you can, we would appreciate it, because it helps us to keep creating the content that you want to hear. Like our episode today, where we are looking at mojitos.
Mojitos!
Oh, we got the same one this time.
We do have the same one this time.
We've got our cocktails in a can. We've both got Bacardi Mojito, which is on the can says lime, mint, flavours, and rum.
Great.
I've also got a raspberry one.
I just have this one. Yay!
This is a Morrison's Own one, and it is a fruity blend of raspberry and lime juices from concentrate, mint flavour, and white rum.
Nice.
So I've got those two to try, because I quite like a flavoured mojito.
Well, I was going to say, I guess it's probably worth, first and foremost, the standard ingredients that go into a mojito is white rum, fresh lime juice, sugar, which they preferably a lot of recipes preferably say, use cane sugar, soda water, and mint. So, what is a mojito? I hear people asking. Well, a lot of times it's referred to as a Cuban punch or a Cuban highball. I did Google, technically what is a highball, just in case, because you hear highball thrown around and I think you tend to think of, highball glasses. But a highball as a drink is a mixed alcoholic drink composed of an alcoholic-based spirit and a large proportion of non-alcoholic mixer, and then it's often carbonated. So, normally you put soda water or something in there just to add a bit of carbonation. So, yeah. And they're traditionally served in what is known as a Collins glass. I'm going to guess that's kind of like a Tom Collins type of thing.
I've seen that. So, back in my ship days, when I was on the old cruise ships, one of mine, in fact, my very last ship that I was on, was supposed to permanently be out of Miami. So, it had a Miami theme. And it had specifically a mojito bar.
Oh,
yeah! So you could get all these different mojitos, and the best one was the pineapple mojito. So good.
It is. I've got a list of some variations, but we can go through later. But what I did see is when it comes to this, it's a little bit different to some of the other cocktail variations we've had, where it's slight tweaks to it, but. A lot of times it's you just change the variation by changing the fruit that's used. Yeah. It's instead of using the lime, just use something else. So that tends to be the majority, is just change the fruit that you use. The standard strawberry, watermelon, blueberry, blackberry, pineapple, like all that. Just change the fruit, and there you go. You've got a really easy variation of a mojito. But yeah, obviously, as I said at the start, it's a Cuban punch. So as you can guess, it originates in Havana, Cuba. Havana. It's a fun sounding place. I've never been, and because obviously as an American, Cuba wasn't open for like a very long time, and then I think it opened, but I think it's closed again now to Americans, which is like because I know people over here from the UK that have gone to Cuba, and we were kind of like, oh, that'd be quite nice to go to someday. But now I'm glad we haven't, because you can no longer, I'd be okay, but from my husband's standpoint, he wouldn't be able to travel back to the US on just an ESTA, like the visa waivers. He'd have to get a proper visa. So if you've like, it's something like if you've gone to Cuba in the last 10 years and you want to go to the US, you cannot have an ESTA.
10 years.
Yeah, I believe so. Don't quote me on that, because I haven't double checked, but I'm fairly certain that when I looked, it was a decade. If you had gone to Cuba in the last decade, which feels very unfair.
Yeah.
Over some ridiculous politics that I'm not going to get into, but Cuba just seems like just a interesting place to go visit. So yeah, origin, Havana is the origin of the Mojito. I just want to call it Mojito because it's fun. It is fun. And also with the Mojito, it's estimated to have originated roughly in the 1500s.
Oh wow.
So it makes it one of the oldest mixed drinks that we actually still have around today that we drink. So I thought that was quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's one of the most popular rum-based highballs. So
I do enjoy rum.
I like rum, and it's like I think like white rum as well, because it's
like a pirate.
Yeah, that feels fair. That feels fair. I do like rum, so as much as I don't like tequila, I do like rum, especially white rum. It mixes well. But yeah, we both had the Bacardi, and let's hit that Bacardi, as they say. I've got a fun glass for it as well. It's plastic, but it has a nice little rainbowy tinge to it at the bottom.
You're getting the fun glasses out. I've just got my regular tasting ones.
I mean, I didn't for this. This is like my cocktail in a can. You got to get a bit fun with it. I could get more fun. I'm just choosing not to. It does, and I will say this is a 5%er. Nice little 250ml little dinky can.
And for as much as you may have heard me say that I don't like mint chocolate and stuff like that, I really enjoy mint in a cocktail.
I feel like the mint in this comes through like when you've got mentholy like chapstick.
Yeah.
It actually smells nice. It actually smells like the way a cocktail's supposed to smell.
Drink it.
I like it.
See, I'm getting a bit of toothpaste from it.
Again, what I'm going to say, I'm going to preface with, is I don't normally choose to drink mojitos. And Joe does. So, I mean, use us as your barometer.
Yeah. It's a little bit toothpaste.
I'm not getting toothpaste at all. I think it's a nice level of mint. But so this is it. Use us as your barometer. Joe likes mojitos, doesn't normally like mint in things. I don't normally gravitate towards a standard mojito. Fucking love mint. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the Bacardi Oh No Mojito in a can. And for you,
I feel like it's got too much, there's not enough lime. I want more lime. And I want less of that.
I don't know. Because I feel like this is similar to... I feel like this is similar to what I've... To be fair to a lot of mojitos, I feel like this is similar to what I have typically had.
Well, then you've not had good mojitos.
As a mojito.
That's what that says.
Although it is leaving a little bit of a toothpastey aftertaste, but I'm not mad about it.
So I'm trying the raspberry one. Smells amazing. Doesn't smell like raspberry though. It smells like blackcurrant.
Ooh. How is it? You seem like you're not sure.
No, it's right.
Processing.
I was trying to pick out the flavours, and I was trying to get mint from it, because at first it's very... I suppose the raspberry with the lime is making it quite It's giving me more blackberry than...
Oh, right, okay, fine.
Currant. It's giving me more black currant than it is raspberry.
I just feel like I want to drink this in the sun.
I like that one.
I like the Bacardi one. I feel like I could have this outside.
Offered me that, I wouldn't.
In the sun. I've got my under desk heater on, so I'm trying to like pretend I'm in Havana.
This one, the raspberry mojito, is also 5%, and it's in one of those little skinny 250ml cans.
Little diddy cans.
Yeah, that's right. It's all right. It's not an amazing mojito.
I don't know. I didn't work on a cruise ship with a mojito bar.
Sorry.
But I have had a fair amount of mojito. Well, I haven't, because it's not normally what I order, but it's normally like somebody else will order it, and I'll like have some of theirs, or like somebody doesn't want to finish theirs, so I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. But yeah, the mint's quite refreshing. I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy.
I'm enjoying it.
In a mojito, I enjoy the freshness of the mint in it.
I'm having a great time with it.
It's muddled in nicely. I mean, I don't know whether part of the problem is that I've had pancakes this evening. With
I did as well.
Lemon.
We are recording this to date
this. Might date this episode.
Because this might not come out for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, fuck it. We got these beers ages ago, expecting to do this ages ago, and it didn't happen. So whatever. We might as well date it, and who knows when it's going to go out. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pancake night. What do you have for pancakes?
Lemon and sugar. Oh, always.
Did you have that like for dinner, or was that like a pud?
Pud.
Oh, see, I had pancakes for dinner, and I made buttermilk pancakes, and we made buttermilk fried chicken. So we had chicken instead of chicken and waffles. We had chicken and pancakes.
Pancakes. No pudding.
They were great. It was the tasty recipe. It was not even like they were. It was like the tasty, super easy to make. Like the app or the website Tasty, all the viral food videos and stuff. And yeah, it was really easy to make, and it tasted effing great. So I'm into it.
Nice. But yeah, whether that's taken away from the lime, because I have fresh squeezed lemon juice on my pancakes.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, not. There are cocktails in a can that I'll be like, if that's what's available, okay. But I don't think I would purposefully be like, ooh, I'm going to buy these cocktails in a can yet.
So saying that, I would agree, like, as in, like, this is one that I would have if someone gave it to me. Like, fine. If it was in the offer, I'd be like, cool. Yeah. But, like, would I buy it on my own? Probably not. But then the answer is also, do I buy cocktails in a can when it's not for a podcast episode? The answer is negative, no. Ghost Rider. I absolutely do not. So if I'm going to have a cocktail...
Waste of good beer money.
But that's it. It's like, if I'm going to have a cocktail, I've got plenty... You can't really see it unless you're watching the video, and even then you can kind of see it, but that's some of the spirits I have are out. They're mostly in the cupboard behind me. So I tend to just make a cocktail or buy a bottle of the spirit I want if I'm going to make a cocktail versus a cocktail in a can. Although saying that, I have been known to have like a train tinny of cocktail. If there's no decent beer around, I'll get it.
That's the thing, right? And I don't think I'd buy any of these for that. I'd just buy juice.
Now that I've had the Bacardi, I probably would. I feel like it's very light. It's very refreshing. I quite like that. I think it's, for me, I think the balance is really nice. And it's, the minty is nice. It's leaving me feeling refreshed. So I'd probably go with it again. But yeah, there you go. Use us as your barometer. Decide where you fit on the sliding scale. So
I feel like I'm being very critical.
And I'm blown away because I normally am like, no, mojitos, whatever. But saying that, I mean, should we crack into our first one and see how the beer stacks up? Cool. So should we do? Oh, which one should we do first?
Let's do Lost Industry, because I feel like that's...
I was thinking that one looks like it's probably the most literal.
I think that's
translation.
The most literal. So we've got Steel City and Lost Industries Mojito Sour. I'm pretty sure I've had this before, and I'm pretty sure it was good, but I'm going to find out.
I mean, to be fair, we are just a month shy of the best before, but it's a sour. I'm sure it'll be fine. Again, we were meant to do this last year, and again, didn't happen. We're busy.
People wanted to talk to us. And we brought you great... Oh, hello, she was busy.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but I've contained it. There we go, it's nice.
Yeah, people wanted to talk to us.
Go figure.
And so we brought you those lovely interviews instead of these.
Ooh. Does smell sour.
Yeah,
It almost has that like acidic smell. I'm expecting it to be tart.
Yeah, when I have a sour from Lost Industry, like, you know...
I expect it to be like sharp. And it smells like it's going to be sharp.
Yeah. Smells like lime juice.
Alright, I'm going in.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Ooh! She tart. I like it. I'm digging it. Mmm.
Those lime.
Yeah. There's like an aftertaste that I'm trying to place, and I'm like trying to place it in regards to mojito, but like I don't feel like it's a mojito taste, but it's a nice taste.
Is it the wheat?
I think it is. I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice taste, but I was trying to be like, oh, what could this be in terms of like mojito? But I think it is just very much sweet. But the like, yeah.
The beer part of it.
Yeah. It's good. I think it blends really well, to be fair.
Obviously
it doesn't look like a mojito. It looks like a beer, but...
It's golden yellow, has a fizzy white head. I think there's just a very subtle touch of mint in there.
It's interesting though, if this was sat on a table, you didn't smell it, and you were just looking at it, I probably wouldn't have even guessed it was a sour.
No.
I'm having, like, lime burps. That's how it's like, it's feeling mojito. I've got lime burp. I am nothing but oozing sex appeal, me. Yeah.
I like it.
I like it as well.
I don't think it's like... I don't know, would you say you would get... Would you give this to someone who likes mojitos? Would you give this to someone who were trying to get into sours? I feel those are always the questions.
Would I give it to someone that is into mojitos? I think if I knew that they already liked sours,
yeah.
I probably would. I think if I was trying to get them into sours, it's hard because I wouldn't say it's a definite no. Because actually, I think the way it is quite sharp, but the way it lands, if someone was... It depends, because like there's two approaches. Like there's certain types of people that you have to give like really not sharp or too tart. Like you need to give them the more fruitier sours. And I think that because it's like there's already like the citrus like acidity there as well. Like if that's not really, if they don't want something that's going to be sharper and a little bit more acidic, then maybe not for them.
So I don't think it's your first ever sour.
I know people who...
my first sour.
I know people who it could be if they liked...
You're on the road to learning about them, so you've had a couple, and you're like, yeah, I don't mind a sour. Like, you could start in there. It's not a baby's first sour.
I could see that, but I could also see that there's certain people that I know really like... If I knew they really liked limes, like if they liked that, like, more lime-heavy drink, and they were like, I'm totally open to it and it's not baby steps, I'd be like, yeah, cool. If it was someone that I felt like was less sure about trying sours, and I knew that it could make or break them to try a sour they didn't like, probably wouldn't give them this one.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I feel like it might be a little bit too beery for someone who likes mojitos.
I don't know. I think my only I actually think, this is going to sound really weird, but I actually think this would probably be something I'd give more, because I don't think you get the mint as strong in it, but you do get a bit of like salt towards the back end.
Yeah.
I actually would argue I would give this to someone that potentially like to margarita.
For the margarita people, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Weird, isn't it? Because I can
beer,
see how it's trying to emulate the mojito.
Yeah.
However, I actually would argue that how it lands, I would give this to someone that's into margaritas.
Like maybe a beer eater enjoyer.
Beer eater, yeah,
A
absolutely.
beer eater enjoyer would enjoy this, I think.
I feel like it's sort of like
you get that
straddles that line with what's
grainy wheat at the end. I think that
yes,
you really get that. I like it.
I do as well.
It's more enjoyable than my cocktails in a can.
I still like the cocktails in a can. I'm still going strong for that. I think like the only thing that this one is missing like from that is I think because, and I think it's probably hard to pull off with the sour, so it'll be interesting to see how the others are as well, because all the ones we have today are sours. I feel like this type of flavour does complement sours quite well. However, I do feel it's probably quite hard to emulate because of that mint element in it, where it has that lighter, cooling, like refreshing element, whereas like sours can be refreshing but in a different type of way in my opinion than the mint is. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest are, because I think the mint is probably going to be a little bit harder to bring out in a sour, but we'll see. But I think that's the only thing that's missing from this, and that's, I think, because of that bit of saltiness, that's where I'm kind of like, actually I could see giving this to the margarita people.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of some variations, obviously we mentioned about the different fruits that you can have, that can bring about a variation to a degree. But I thought I'd just kind of mention some of the other variations. So similar to the different fruits, you also can have different spirits and still. So this is actually quite a question that I'd raise at the end of all this, which is like, at what point does something stop being a variation and does it become its own cocktail? However, what's listed as variations is you can have a gin mojito or a vodka mojito, or there's restaurants, so apparently like Spanish and Mexican restaurants like quite like the mojito for obvious reasons, but they've started making them with tequila, so there's tequila mojitos, so really
it's then a margarita.
No, because you add the soda water, so there's the carbonation element to a mojito, and you also do to make the mojito, you've got to like muddle the mint, and there's more muddling, I think. More steps and more ingredients. But I think so that's it though, isn't it? It's quite interesting because it's like, oh, you can have all these variations where you go, let's have a gin or a vodka, and all you're doing is you're taking the white rum and just changing that for a different spirit, and that kind of feels a bit cheating, but that is also a variation. You've got the frojito, which is a frozen mojito, if you haven't worked that one out. And I think, like with some of the other cocktails that we've talked about, maybe have already come out, maybe haven't, but we've obviously have a little mini cocktail series happening, but a lot of these cocktails you tend to find, at least in the US, that there's like a heavy presence of like a frozen version. And I think with mojitos, you can have a frozen mojito, but it very much isn't the norm to serve it frozen.
Yeah. Because
you tend to have it with crushed crushed cubes.
And you've got to kind of muddle in that mint, and that's not going to go so well like in a slushy, as it were. You know? Yeah,
so I think the closest that it gets is having the crushed cubes, and like having it over like a pile of like crushed cubes. But even then it tends to just be on the rocks. But you can do a frojito. It's possible, and I'm sure they serve it at beach resorts all over the place. So there's the pineapple and vanilla. So I know we mentioned about a fruit, but I thought it sounded really interesting to have the vanilla in that. Yeah. So you can have a pineapple vanilla one. Curious how pineapple and vanilla work together.
The one that I had did not have vanilla in it.
I think it would be interesting to try. There's also the kumquat mojito. I still am not 100% sure what a kumquat is.
I mean, I know it's a fruit. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't really know. Like, I know what a kumquat is, but I'm not sure I really know what a kumquat is, if I'm being honest. But yeah, there's kumquat mojitos.
We need to get some kumquats and try them.
I wouldn't even know. Like, can you just get a kumquat at like Tesco? Could I just pop down to Tesco and be like, maybe. One of your finest kumquats, please? Like, it's a fun word.
I mean, please go up to someone in Tesco and say that and see what happens.
I would like one of your finest kumquats, please. It's a great word, but yeah, it's not sure how it would taste in a mojito. Maybe, again, this is maybe something we have to do as bonus content. Who wants to see us buy kumquats and turn them into mojitos? So there's the limoncello mojito, which very clearly adds limoncello. Yep. But the difference in this one compared to the other ones where you're changing the spirits up are the other ones you are quite literally substituting the spirit you're using. This is just the addition of limoncello. And what I read, it was along the lines of like, that limoncello can add a more powerful, just a more intense and overall like better balanced lemon flavour than you could get by adding like fake lemon juice or even like fresh squeezed lemon juice. So yeah, that's that one. That sounds nice. The honey mojito, I've seen a lot where they tell you to just like add honey to the mojito. Ooh. So lots of different recipes where the variant is add honey. That sounds really lovely, and apparently it works very well, especially if you're doing like the cane sugar and you've got the nice white rum and then you put some like nice little honey in there. Cactus and lime, oh, that was just fun.
Yeah. You
have the mintless mojito. This one was like, no. It's not what you think. It's not without mint. It's not without mint, it's just without mint leaves. Instead, you use polo mint syrup, which you make by basically mixing fucking polos with a simple syrup. Now, for anyone that's not British that's listening to this, if you're American, I could describe a polo as basically a mint lifesaver.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver.
That's basically what it is. A lifesaver, the little circle with the hole, and it's mint.
So you just make like a mint simple syrup? Yeah,
no, you use simple syrup and you crush up
polos.
Polos, apparently.
I feel like that's not quite as good as muddling in the mint.
It is. That one was interesting. That was one of the most bizarre ones because it was like mintless, and I was like, oh, what are they going to do with that? Like, they just remove the mint? Okay. No. And it was like, no, it's polos. I was like, bold move, but I'm here for that. There's the smoked rum mojito, which obviously there's like, you use a smoked rum.
Yeah.
There was the recipe that it came from was one that was like, I believe, a Caribbean rum that had like, it was a smoked Caribbean rum. And but I guarantee you could probably. I guarantee that you could just use a smoker, and like not, I mean like a drink smoker.
Yeah, a drink smoker. We've talked about those. I nearly bought one.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! I nearly bought one.
I did as well, and then I was like,
some beer.
I almost did.
We stopped ourselves. If this is bonus content that you would like to see, listeners, you'd like to see us try and smoke a beer with a cocktail smoker, let us know because we're already teetering on the edge of doing it anyway.
Like I said, I would do, if you want me to do tequila shots, I'll do tequila. If that's what the people want, if the people want the smoker, I'll buy a 20 quid smoker, whatever.
I mean, I didn't buy the cocktail smoker, I bought the beer spike instead that we haven't used yet, so...
Spoiler alert!
That'll be coming soon. Someday soon in the future.
But yeah, the last variation is the one that sort of made me question, like, at what point does something stop becoming a variation and start becoming like a whole new drink? But it's the one that I was probably most interested in for obvious reasons, and it's the Mojito Nihongo, which is basically like a Japanese mojito.
Okay.
Nihongo meaning Japanese. So you substitute the mint leaves for Japanese shiso leaves, then you put sweet sake in for the white rum, and use Sprite instead of club soda. So, I mean, do we consider this a variant cocktail? Is this not just a different cocktail inspired by
the mojito? Yeah.
I don't know, but it is listed as a variant of the mojito, and it has the word mojito in it.
Tenuous.
Yeah, I think. Let us know your thoughts because for me, I don't know. What's your take on it, Joe?
I feel like that is a different cocktail that's just been inspired by mojito, but is using local ingredients.
But at what point would you say that something stops being like an inspired by? It starts being inspired by and stops being variant of.
Personally, I think these cocktails have a particular base, And if you change that base, then it's not that cocktail anymore. Like if you take rum out, it's not really a mojito, because a mojito uses rum, right?
I agree. Yeah.
And mint, like the main ingredients, like lime, yeah, but like you can use different fruit ones. It's like strawberry margarita, blah blah. I think if your base spirit is different, and like key ingredients that make the overall flavour of that cocktail are taken out, then you're doing something that's been inspired by it, or you're doing something different.
I'd agree, and I think, like, for me, I would even give you the mint. Like, if you decided to take the mint out entirely, or you wanted to use weird fucking polo syrup and do it, like, great, cool. But I do think that's, like, once you change that white rum, in my opinion,
it's not a mojito anymore.
It's not a mojito. Like, once you and you start adding, like, and overcomplicating it and adding, like, loads of ingredients, I think...
Like smoked rum, okay, cool, that's a like...
Variations of rum. Even if you were like, I'm going to use a dark rum or a spiced rum or something like that, I can even give you that as a variation. But when you start going, I'm going to use sparkling sake, gin, vodka, tequila, like...
It's not
it feels like it's just anymore. A new drink.
Yeah. Just make a new cocktail.
And actually, I think the more I'm drinking this Lost Industries one, the more I feel like I can almost taste, like, sort of those rum qualities in it. I don't know, have you found that as well on your side?
I just enjoy it. I just like it.
Nearly done, like, most of the way through this can. Pretty good, pretty solid, and I think that... I know, back to back as well. Yeah. But I would say that, like, the more you drink it as well, the more I kind of change my answer about would I give this to somebody, like, newer into sours, because I actually think that, like, as you kind of start to settle in on it, it's not as sharp as the first few sips are, obviously, when you acclimatise to it. But also, I do think that you do sort of get a little bit more depth in that, like, slight tiny bit of mint in it, potentially. I'm also getting, I think that... towards the back end, I'm almost getting a smokiness as well, and I don't know why.
Oh, I think it might be the grain bill.
I was going to ask if that was potentially it, because it's like something that's just... I've taken a sip, it's gone, and then that's kind of lingering there as almost like... What's left is almost like a smoky element to it. Yeah. And I can't figure out what else it would be. So that was my best guess anyways. Yeah. Curious to see if any of the others can pull off the mint. Shall we try the Play Brew Co?
Yes, so we've got lime zest and mint mojito sour from Play Brew Co. I really like their cans. They've always got like that cute little
it's never
cartoony character on them.
Yeah, and they're never like overcomplicated labels. They all have the same format with a different little character on the front. Quite like it. Get your cha-cha-cha on with this mojito sour. This is what it says on the back.
Oh, yeah.
The lime and mint will take you places, maybe even Cuba for the time of your life.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
high hopes for that.
But then don't go to the US after, because you're not going to be able to use an ester. Just saying. Fun fact. I do have some fun facts, but let's try this first.
I do enjoy fun facts.
I do love a good fun fact. Like ASMR.
It smells nice.
It looks nice as well. The head's poured like quite well on that as well.
It's got a nice foamy head on it.
Okay. I see you. It definitely smells zesty. Lime and zestiness. And I get the mint. Actually, I would say so far, aroma-wise, this actually feels the closest to a mojito. Yeah, doesn't look it, obviously, but...
No, it's still got that beer colour to it.
If I go back and forth between the two, it's like...
Yeah.
You do get that mint. That's interesting, because I almost thought it would get lost in the lime zest, but... Oh, she's sharp. Sharper than you expect, but there is that cooling mint element that like balances it out. Wow!
And it's not too much.
No.
It's like a little like biscuity malt at the end.
Yeah. Like there's almost like a little bit.
Yummy.
Like for me, there's almost a little bit like breadiness like left in my mouth, and I love it. You know, I love that breadiness. which is, again, like, I feel like I don't normally get that with a sour. So it's like...
Oh, no, I think this is an entry-level sour.
I agree. But I feel like it's got enough tartness, because I wouldn't say sharp, I would say definitely tart.
Yeah.
But in a way that, as a person that likes sours, I can enjoy. But I'd also feel comfortable having someone try. And also, I would say, where you get that cooling mint effect, and there's the lime, I feel like if I knew somebody liked Mojito, and they wanted to try a beer of some sort, and they were open to sours, this would definitely be it.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like this did nail the brief.
Yeah, 100% I would give this to someone that enjoyed the flavours of a mojito.
I'm quite surprised, because I was not expecting this mint to come through.
Yeah, and it's just, like, it's not toothpastey. Like, it's just that nice hint of proper mint leaves that you get from a properly muddled mojito. It's lovely.
I was expecting to just get lost, really. Because, again, it's kind of like when you have those delicate flavours, yeah. Like, when you use vanilla, sometimes that can be, like, a little bit too delicate. And I kind of expected the same for mint, but I'm really enjoying this. This is a very refreshing, cooling. I feel like you have a sunburn. You're like, oh, it's too hot out. I need to cool down, get this sunburn sorted.
But I feel like the setting for a mojito beer is different from, like, a margarita beer. Like, margarita, I want to be, like, by the pool.
Yeah, mojito.
I want to be, like, on a balcony.
Mojito.
Like, overlooking a beautiful landscape.
I think I agree. Margarita's like pool or beach. Like, I want pool or beachside for those.
I would say pina colada is beach, mojito is margarita is pool, mojito is like, or like a cool, like, club.
Okay, well, if we're
like sitting on, like, you're sitting out the front of, like, a cool bar
so
or club.
If we're going to play that game and we're only allowed to have, like, in one location, like, margarita, probably the bin. Like, that can go in the bin. So pina colada, all the places, like, happy. I would say mojito, it does feel like I should be in a nice, like, summer, like, flowy dress. It should be like like you said, a really trendy club. Yeah, with pockets, so I could go, oh, pockets. Yeah, exactly. Or like, I feel like it's like, oh, I should be at the races or something. Like, it's like nice weather for sure. It's a nice weather drink and like out in the sun, but I feel like this is more like elevated. Like a mojito is more elevated than a margarita or it's classier. It's the muddling. It's the extra time used to muddle.
Care that is taken in making the beer, making the cocktail and the beer.
And the beer. Do you want the fun facts? While we're sipping on these high-end mojitos, high-end mojitos. National.
Kicked out of the classy bus for a mojito.
I'm gonna go. Oh no, mojito! Oh,
get her out. Security.
It wouldn't be the first time. It's fine. National Mojito Day. 11th of July. And again, when we refer to National Cocktail Day, it's always the US. But there's no reason you can't celebrate it. So yeah, National Mojito Day, 11th of July. Nice. So yeah, I already said about the popularity of being in the Mexican and Spanish restaurants, like they've made it with tequila, so that's a bit like meh. So this is one, not a fun fact, let's call it not a fun fact, but is a fact nonetheless that I feel like is worth mentioning. So when looking at the history, so there's usually I can give you some stories of how, you know, the origin of it, of who we thought invented it, and there's a very muddled past. And I mean, this is being one of the oldest ones, you know, we don't really have I didn't find an extensive laundry list, but I did find that it's thought to have African roots. So like with the name Mojito, like deriving from mojo, meaning magic, charm or talisman. And there was a bit of a debate on like the origin. So there was some historians suggesting that they thought it was slaves that brought it over, slaves that were working in Cuba on sugarcane farms, that they introduced this drink. Others have debated that that's actually how like daiquiris were invented, not mojitos, but it's a bit of the dark part of history. But you have to acknowledge it. So yeah, that's one idea as to how they think mojitos were introduced. So like I said, there's lots of debate around it, but that is the facts, really. Mojitos used to be used for medicinal purposes by pirates to treat scurvy and dysentery. So you said you could have been a pirate.
Drink. The lime's going to help you with your scurvy.
I guess when they made this one, the rum that was used at the time, so that rum, an old type of rum, was known as aguardiente, I think. Oh. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's aguardiente. But that was an old school rum, and that's what they used sort of in that recipe. But yeah, it was medicinal. So really, I mean, I've not been feeling well recently. It's medicinal.
It's going to sort you right out.
It's good. It's the mint. It's happy. I thought you'd appreciate this one because whether this episode comes out before or after, we were just talking about high-end ice cubes. So there's a special mojito ice cube for this one.
Is there?
There is. So it's said that normal ice will melt and obviously water down your cocktail. So we don't want that. That's sad. Boo. Boo that ice. So these special ice cubes that you make consist of water, sugar and lime. So even as they melt, they will keep the flavour. They keep those flavors, girl. They keep those flavors. Have you ever made ice cubes? Because I know for ice, as a big iced coffee drinker, we used to make ice cubes made out of coffee. So that way, when your ice melted, you were left with more iced coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't. I've made ice lollies.
Yeah, but you don't chuck that in a drink, though, do you?
No. But no, I don't think I've made flavoured ice
but you could have.
or anything for
no, that's saved on for I'm rich and you're poor.
Right, I was going to say my freezer is not big enough for that. I'm a povo, and I don't have a big enough freezer for that.
According to Shabazz, we're on povos. So you initially thought to have been introduced or helped to gain popularity stateside by Ernest Hemingway. Because alongside numerous cocktails, it was said that he really enjoyed them and that he spent a lot of time in Cuba. So it was said that he brought them back stateside, and that's what sort of contributed to their popularity in the US. But obviously they kind of fell out of fashion for a while, but there was a resurgence in popularity that's been attributed to the cocktail being featured in the James Bond film Die Another Day in 2002.
Really?
Yep, that's when Pierce Brosnan's James Bond was enjoying a mojito when speaking to Jinx Halle Berry on the beach. Oh. So it is a beach drink, so take that. Yeah. According to James Bond, and James Bond's never wrong. He's 007. But what is interesting is market research company basically surveyed about 1,000 people between the age of 18 and 60 to find out that mojito was the most popular drink in France.
Really?
Yeah. It's interesting. Apparently so. The survey reported that every third consumer of French, but what I think it means is France prefers it over any other cocktail drink. I didn't type that. That is exactly what this article said.
Belgium beer?
And but separate to the survey, there was like other articles linking about how, and this was quite surprising as well, they're popular in Poland. Like they're really popular in Poland as well as the UK. The UK I'm like less surprised about because I feel like if you're into cocktails, this is one of the top cocktails like worldwide anyways, but Poland was a bit surprising because I think you tend to think of like, I don't know, you tend to think of more like
vodka-based things.
And I think
way, don't you?
Mojito, I think of like I'm going tropical, I'm going somewhere beachy. Yeah. But yeah,
interesting.
That's all my fun facts for you. My fun facts, my sad facts.
I enjoyed those.
Good, I'm glad. That's what I'm here for. Give you the funnest of facts and the saddest of facts, but Facts.
I really enjoyed that one.
That was good. I think so far I really like them both. But I think if we're talking about strictly close to Mojito, I think the Play Brew Co is the closest to Mojito.
Yeah.
So far for me.
Definitely.
This next one's gonna be interesting.
Right, number 3, In Waves, Mojito Sour from Amity.
In collaboration with Vault City.
Oh, I didn't realise
Did
that.
you not?
No. It's right there on the front of the thing.
The logo, if you're looking at the video.
I'm just completely disregarding it. Like, I literally didn't even pay attention to that was there.
It's like, you
It's
read the
right
logo.
there. It's literally right there.
Great.
It's me.
But another Mojito Sour. So this one, Lost Industries one, did we say? That one was 5.4%.
Oh, we didn't say. Yeah.
The Play Brew Co, surprisingly, 3.6%.
3.6.
It tastes like it would be. It didn't taste like it didn't taste boozy, but it didn't stand out as being like sub far. You know, it didn't seem like it was that far off. So that's quite impressive. And this one, 4.8%.
Nice.
I'm a little bit afraid this one's going to explode. I don't know why. I just get those vibes.
No, mine's fine.
No, it's good. We're good. We're good. I don't know. I just thought, it's been too good lately.
In the villages.
ASMR. Oof.
Oh, this one's very clear.
I mean, I feel like they all were. To be fair, I don't think any of them were not clear. Like, I'd say they're pretty close. Play Brew Co. Pretty close.
Mine was a touch, like, just a little bit of haze to it.
Yeah, I'd say the Lost Industries one's a little bit less clear than the other two, but I think the other two are fairly even. I would actually say the Amity one is a little bit more hazy. It's not like hazy's not the word I would use, but more so than the other.
I'm getting lime.
Get lime for sure. Don't get the mint so much.
Yeah. It smells sweet.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, I think the thing is, like, with the Lost Industries, we kind of cracked that in immediately. I was like, that's going to be sharp, that's going to be, like, that is going to be sour. The Play Brew Co one, I kind of felt like it could go either way, but I think because there was that cooling mint, I was like, okay. This one, I'm not sure how sour to expect it to be.
Yeah. Let's find out.
Deceptively sour.
Yep. If you're not watching the video, we've literally both of our faces just gone.
Not in a bad way, but in the sense of we literally.
We both went.
And it's like staying there in my cheeks.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it doesn't have that like sharp smell to it. It's very like lime, but not so.
Yeah.
Obviously acidic, obviously sharp. Yeah, it is.
That's proper lime juice.
Smells like it could have been on the sweeter side. And you never know with Vault City, because sometimes it's like they do a sour and it's really great. It's like bang and sour, but it will be more of like on the fruity side. So I thought maybe they've brought that to this element, but
mate, that tastes like my pancakes earlier tonight. Because when I do lemon and sugar pancakes, like I am like lemon, sugar.
I don't really do those often. I never. Not that I never. I just don't do them often.
This is where like it's these divisions where I'm suddenly like, yeah, you ain't English.
You ain't English.
You ain't English.
You proper like Miss England over here. You ain't English. Stop taking our jobs.
My friend at work is also from the US, and she's like, "Immigrants get it done."
You're like,
so funny.
Like, why can't you just leave cask alone? Stop coming in here with your fizziness. That's what I feel like I was expecting to come from you next. You ain't English. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm just sorry, I'm reading the back of the can as I'm chuckling to myself about Joe going, you ain't English. All right, mate. Builder Joe. Yeah. So Amity Brew Co stands for Community, Friendship and Good Beer. Oh, I like that. That's good.
Super refreshing for the summer heat, this beer's supposed to be.
So this is a very special collaboration between Amity and the Masters of Sour Beer in the UK Vault City. We went for a classic cocktail-inspired sour, something super refreshing for the summer heat. This beer will wake up your senses with a fruity punch and then a sour lemon and lime finish. I mean, I feel like...
I am not disputing that.
I don't think it stopped punching. I think, like, I actually would say
In the best
it started
way.
off, like, a bit subtle. And then, yeah, there was the immediate punch. I'm into it. I like it. Again, I feel like, would I say that for me that this translates to like obvious mojito? Not sure, because again, I don't get the I don't get the mint element in it, and for me that's quite important.
I feel like you could do like a mojito beer cocktail with it.
Absolutely, I think with this
Chuck
one,
some rum in it.
I think this one and the mojitos and the Lost Industries mojito sour, you could definitely use those. Instead of using the lime juice, I feel like you could use both of those and then make a cocktail out of it. I think as well, I want to say Brass Castle did.
They did, muddled. It was called muddled.
I had it twice.
Yes, you did.
I had it twice.
Last time you got upset with me when I spoke about where you had it, so I won't talk about it.
I had it, and I had a beer cocktail made out of it, and I walked home with it. It was the last time I had it, and it was great. I enjoyed it very much.
That one was really good.
Yeah, I think I had it.
Very, very enjoyable.
The first time I had it, I think I had it in London at Werewolf Beer. And then I had it again in a cocktail, in a beer cocktail. And it was equally as delicious, and it worked really well. And again, like, I think that was another one where maybe I'm not remembering it, like, properly. But again, it was very, like, lime. And I think the lime can overpower the mint. So I'm really shocked how, like, Brew Co did that. So, like, apparent.
Because this one has lemon and lime in it, which is why I'm
That's
like,
fair, yeah.
It tastes like my pancakes earlier. But it does say it's got mint in it, but I'm not really tasting the
But
mint.
I just think it's so easy for the mint to be overpowered.
So easy for that.
Like, it's
so
not.
easy for mint to be overpowered.
It can be easy to like have that sort of shine through.
You've got to get that right balance, right? Because you've got to get that hint of mint, but it not taste like toothpaste.
Like Bacardi. Apparently like Bacardi.
The Bacardi in a can.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like this. I'm satisfied with all three, to be honest. I'd still say probably the Brew Co is the most mojito.
Yes.
And how they got that mint to come out, I have no idea. But equally, if you really just like lemon and lime flavours and you like a sour, all three are really great. We're missing the sunshine.
Yeah. Doing this in February.
Doing this in Feb. Hoping for the sunshine. It's been sunny recently.
It has. It has been sunny.
Don't knock it. It might go away. Oh, these were nice. These were a nice little set.
I enjoyed this.
I liked these. But then I feel like usual, I tend to like the beers more than the cocktail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun little experiment.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Tori, if people want to talk to you about the toothpaste Bacardi in a can mojito, where can they talk to you?
Yeah, please come talk to me about if you let us know if you like or dislike Bacardi mojito.
Had it.
But yeah, if you've had it, what's your use case for cocktails in a can? Tell me your use case for sell me on buying cocktails in a can.
Pitch it.
Pitch it to me. You can find us on, or you can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism, or on Gmail at adventuresandoptimism@gmail.com. You can also write to both of us, which sometimes it will be me picking it up just because I've got the reception better than Joe does.
My office has moved upstairs now, and actually I get a little bit more reception.
Woo! It's the little things.
Not huge amounts, but a little bit.
But come tell us there, if you want us to try any of these variant cocktails, or if you just want us to do a video doing shots of cocktail or shots of a spirit we don't like, or buying kumquats, eating kumquats, I don't know. Come find us both on the A Women's Brew Instagram. You could email us at awomensbrewpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, I think those are probably the two main places. Or you can find us on Coffee. Yep, so come and join our coffee community. Woo.
Chuck us some pennies in the pot and you get to see all of our bonus content. And if you want to talk to me, you can find me at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Pinterest. I've also got a website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or you can email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Come and find us, come and have a chat with us, tell us what you want to hear, because we want to know. This has been very enjoyable. I think we've had a really good time tonight.
I'm enjoying all of them. There's not a single one that I'd go, nah.
No.
I want to go enjoy the rest of them now.
Yeah, so we shall.
Cool.
So on that note,
cheers.